since.
That day was March 30th, 1981.
And here you see the president coming out now. You just have to watch. I don't know whether we can hear this or not. There. Shots. God.
25-year-old John Hinckley Jr. tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan.
There are 2 or 3 people here they're taking away. Yes, he appears to be blonde. He is seized as the suspect.
Hinckley's shooting spree would make him one of the most notorious criminals in American history. A bullet puncturing President Reagan's lung, almost killing him. A Secret Service agent and police officer also wounded. Hinckley's 4th victim, Press Secretary Jim Brady, suffering brain damage, paralyzed for life. Just before the assassination attempt, Hinckley told us he felt cut off from society.
I was just totally depressed, totally despairing of my life. I thought I had nowhere to turn. I had the delusion back in 1981 that by shooting the president, I could impress Jodie Foster.
So this individual took it upon himself to actually go and attempt to assassinate the President of the United States for the express reason that he wanted to impress Jodie Foster, a female actress, who at the time I believe was underage. She was very popular and she was someone who was in Taxi Driver, for example, but at that time she wasn't even 18. So this guy basically was trying to impress a preteen teenager by assassinating the president and getting so much aura, getting so much attention, getting so many headlines that he would then be able to be in a relationship with this specific celebrity female. Now, the important part here is that although this guy comes off as the textbook shooter, textbook incel, he is supposedly shown to be mentally ill, and the reason why that is pretty much shown is that he's actually out and about right now. He's actually free to walk the streets because he served his prison time. I guess even though he paralyzed an individual and shot the president, it wasn't enough to convince the jury that this guy wasn't insane. Like, they listened to this guy basically talk about how much he loves Jodie Foster, how he wants to be with Jodie Foster, he wants to eat Jodie Foster's logs, and he basically sounded so crazy and so insane that they literally could not give him a life sentence because he was absolutely, positively out of his mind. But honestly, it sounds like the typical incel status where they do something insane and they do something crazy just for the admiration of a female. I mean, this is literally the same exact thing that Elliot Rodger did, where he went to a university in order to go after women begrudgingly because they would not have any type of relationship with him. I don't see how this is any different, really. I mean, honestly, this guy basically went to the highest level. I guess because he went after the president, people thought it was so insane and so crazy that they just let him off scot-free. But the mindset is still there. This individual was deprived of attention, starved for it, looked at some type of an opportunity. Ironically enough, similar to Taxi Driver, if you watch Taxi Driver, there was an entire plot point, an entire storyline where the main character basically thought of taking out the mayor, and by doing this he would have the headlines, the attention, and all the affirmation, and would show that he actually could do it. And similarly, it was for the attention of a woman. So I don't know if this guy's a copycat individual where he basically took his own mental illness and applied it to the Taxi Driver main character, or it really is one of those things that incels really propagate to, that the idea being that they have a fantasy of doing something so hard and so terrible that it finally gets the attention of the opposite sex and makes them look like some type of a desirable menace, even if it is in the scope of being Charlie Manson. And notice, I did mention Taxi Driver. That is a telltale sign that if you really, really love Taxi Driver, I like it, it was a good movie. But if some dude lives their life by Taxi Driver, does push-ups, talks in the mirror, thinks about the single female and trying to win her over, you might want to take a closer look at that guy, because he might just be plotting the demise of your local mayor just for the affirmation of a female.
A clear tell to show that you're a sub 5 with regard to body language
is that women will want to avoid physical contact with you as much as possible. Obvious things women will do include having their body tilted away from you, being really tense or uncomfortable in the shoulders, having their arms really close to their body, which is a common defense mechanism, showing that they don't want to touch, they try and guard themselves from others. Therefore, they can After the examples I just gave you, if you're still confused on how attractive you really are, you're constantly
At the end of every single video, make sure you ask people to